Oh, come on.
Hey,
Let's
what up,
get
guys? Scares
Yo,
here.
thanks for the games, man.
let's get
Thanks for
it.
the games, man.
Let's get it started, bro. So, hi guys, what is going on? This is Zaprox along with the crew. We got Elki, PH number 28 standard. Hake Gamma, PH number 37 standard. Kageno Kami, PH number 6 standard. And then we got Natus, PH number 80 standard. And the man, the myth, the legend who just got himself a brand new monitor and is now a Twitch affiliate, Zone Luis, PH number 7 standard. Together today, we are going to start our OSPH podcast. This is our very first podcast, and we call this first episode Headstart. So to keep things organized, we'll start introducing ourselves shortly, followed about what the podcast will offer, and then we'll be also answering common questions in the community, such as how can I improve? And we'll answer the most common questions we have in the group as well, other than those how to improve stuff. And already got them listed here, so let's get started now. So to begin, we'll introduce ourselves. So by the way, my name is Zafrox. I'll be hosting this podcast, and as much as it goes, I actually started playing OS around 2007, and when everything is actually the scratch in the beginning and with all the bugs and fixes, especially when the HP came out, and the score actually got turned into PP ranking. I'm pretty much your guy if you want to talk about OG stuff. Go ahead, Elki.
Hi, my name's Elki. First started playing Osu seriously like 3 years ago, and nothing really much to say. I used to play BT a lot. Now I've been kind of expanding my skill set, like a little bit. And
Technology.
yeah. I play technology maps, speed maps, basically everything. It's a pretty fun game.
Dang. Kind of want to try a tech map. Next up, we got Takagama. Come on, bro.
Hey, I'm Hake. Well, as people would call me. In-game, I'm Hake Gamer. Really good name, by the way. I started playing at 2016. I can remember the date. March 19, 2016. I didn't start playing seriously until late September. So, what I usually main or like to play are no-mod maps. I'm kind of considered known for only playing no-mod maps, but I'm beginning to expand myself into other mods, mainly DT or Hard Rock Kit then.
Damn, that's pretty solid. What about Kage no Kami, the PH number 6 standard?
Hey guys, I'm Kage no Kami, but some of you may also know me as Dark and Shad before. I am primarily a speed player, double time and hidden. I started the game on October 2015, got hooked after friends showed me the game, and ever since I've just been trying to improve since then.
Yeah. Well, you're always improving. I always see you as the shining needle. Hey, Natus, what up, my dude? Let's get this started.
Yo. Hey guys, my name is Nathos. I have a bunch of aliases, but most people call me Nathan. So I started playing OS at around November or December of 2014 at my friend's house. And then I made an account finally at about January the next year. I play standard, currently rank 6k, and I kind of decaying since I kind of quit farming DT and playing farm maps in general. As of the moment, I've been spamming tech maps for the past 2 months, and I've been really enjoying the game overall. I also came back from a 2-year restriction since I wanted a very long break back then. I also had a wrist injury. So yeah, so
That's very, very good start. Let's start then. We can also have Zone Luis. Hey, can we also say congratulations to this guy? Jesus Christ, bro.
congrats to the gamer, bro.
That's for the gamer.
Okay, so past few days have been crazy. I did not expect to just have an overall PC upgrade. I was already surprised at myself for buying the Razer Viper Mini, which was a big upgrade from a mouse. But introducing myself, I'm Zone Luis. You can call me, I could be considered an old player because I had my account ever since 2012. I played normally ever since 2014, seriously in 2016, and then just from there on just kept on playing and playing and playing. Actually, and this month alone is my 1 year anniversary of me being 3 digit. I got 3 digit around a year ago. So primarily a mouse player. I'm I guess I'm an all-rounder. If you check my top plays, I have like HDVT, VT only, no mod, some few HR scores as well, and I don't know. I just enjoy the game a lot. I just play the game a lot. I have 1,000 hours, and it's gonna keep going up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Legend. So, with everybody already introduced themselves, allow me to at least provide you guys what to expect on upcoming podcasts and what we expect to do on the other ones. Well, we are actually going to go on a very good schedule of having this podcast out every 28th of the month, or sometimes it can be delayed depending on what situation we're in and the availability of our podcasters. So, I believe on the episode 2, you can also expect a guest coming from our CWC players that performed this year. I believe we can have Momo X to actually join us here in the podcast, but I'll keep in touch with him after this podcast. So, to begin on the next one, we will begin providing you guys, since we're all standard players here, some tips for improving, since this is actually the most common questions and each and every one of us actually has something to share. Well, for me, I'll probably save myself for the last because it's probably just short. So I'll let Natus and the gang and everybody else take it away. So Natus, you start first.
So what are we talking about exactly? First of all?
Well, we
Improvement?
Yeah, improvement. Like, we actually see these people posting in the group in those Philippines be like, hey, how can I improve? I mean, some people cannot really accept the concept of play more.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you
I
guys?
think the first thing I want to say is, yeah, play more. Don't play relax and autopilot. There's absolutely no reason, or in my experience, or in almost everyone else's experience, is that it does not help you improve. And if you want to improve, just play the game as is. So yeah, I think that's kind of my take on it. Really, most of it is just playing what you're comfortable with, and a lot of it is actually just player mindset. If you think you're going to miss a certain pattern on a run, there will definitely be a chance of you missing it. And playing to improve instead of playing for ranks is better in the long run, because when you play to improve, rank will come naturally, and it'll be less stressful in the process. Farming skill is probably the most tedious way to get better, but the most rewarding thing to do when you want to improve as well as gain a rank is to just play to improve instead of ranks. Yeah, that's how I would say it, honestly.
What about you guys? What about Hake? I think I can see that you are up to something right now. You want to get that out. Want to share it to us, bro?
Beep, 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 beep. Tips in improving, yeah, more or less it's the same. I will always give the same tip over and over that's being thrown around for years. Play more. Now, as a relaxed player, yes, I used to be a player. In my early days, I really regret it because I am extremely mind blocked on some maps, and I'm still working overcoming certain mind blocks. It's not really going to be helpful if you think you can improve your aim with relax. There's a tap factor. You're holding back your own potential with that. Other than that, it's to be comfortable. Like what Natho said, it's a big factor. Being comfortable. If you're just forcing yourself to play because I wanna be this player. That's not really a bad. But if that's your only mindset, that's where it all goes down. So yeah.
Pretty
Just want
pretty
to add.
smart, guys.
Actually, I want to add.
Go ahead.
Relax isn't. Relax in itself is really bugged, where you can throw your cursor across the screen and still hit notes. It's not the same when you're playing
The
it
time
without
window
relax.
is so high.
Time window is so
So-
high. So yeah, it's not impressive. Stop flexing it.
Some people are gonna be like that. Hey, I can probably just play, relax, and have no
Yeah,
issues.
I'm gonna
I
do
can hit
the
the pattern. I can
stream map with relax. It's very cool. Yeah.
Hey, let me flex on the top player by saying, "Hey, I can beat your score with relax HDHR."
All right. Moving on. Yeah.
Nah, we're not going there. But hey, I want to hear Kageno's side on this one. How about you, Kageno?
Well, for me, I agree with Nathan on what he said. Just to play more. I don't think you need to really do anything else. You just have to keep playing more maps. Any maps at all. As long as you're not retry spamming. That's really important, that you don't retry a map more than 10 times, which Zone said previously. Yeah, you just need to keep grinding and working all your skill sets until you improve, and then that's when the PP will start rolling in.
Yeah, that sounds like a
So
pretty solid
there's no
advice right there.
secret sauce to improvement.
Yep.
By the way.
Enjoying the game, that's the main focus right there. Let's see Elky. Man, this guy has been quiet.
So, improvement?
Yes, bro.
Well, there's this one really good analogy that, like, surprisingly, Beastrol MC, I think he made that, called the sand
also
analogy. Yeah, he said it on the podcast with Digital Hypno. It basically goes over the skill sets, or basically the way you should think about skill sets. And he basically said that think of your skill as sand, meaning that you need a strong and large base, so a wide skill set variety to actually build up your skill or increase the size of like the pile of sand. So you would need to build up like a very big base and a variety of skills if you want to actually improve on each of them specifically. You can't just have a thin structure with only one or two skills and expect to get anywhere far with it.
Alright. That's a pretty solid example right there from Elky. What about you, Sal?
Okay, improvement. I don't know what to say, honestly. My experience growing in rank is just an enigma. I can't really pinpoint like a point in time where I knew my rank at like, let's go 2 years back, 2018. I can only say my approximate rank range. I never knew what my like pinpoint rank is at that time, because what I did was just download maps, play it first try, pass or FC. Like if I miss the first few notes of the song, I just go on with it, finish the song, and then you just move on to the new other maps that you downloaded. So it's literally just play more. If you're a new player, like really new, just keep on downloading beat maps. Even like beat map packs actually help, even for new players. Just typically I just don't recommend going to like the first few beat map packs. Go for more modern beat map packs that were recently released, because they'll introduce you to more modern maps, and it's like basically you could say they're meta maps easily. But general improvement, just enjoy the game as it is. But when you know you're like on adrenaline, you're going hard, yeah, you can push for scores, you can push for PP if you want, but like again, don't overdo it. Too much of anything is bad. too much of being comfortable is bad, but there's also too much of farming PP. So there's always a downside of too much of everything. So just figure out what what you can do with your time frame when you're playing, and just keep at it. Hours will always be the equivalent of your skill, unless if you're like just not putting yourself out of your comfort zone. I've seen some players with like more hours than me, and they're still 5 digit. But that's because they never set uh their goals to like, what should I improve on? Which skill set am I bad? While you're playing more, you need to keep goals, and keep like this mindset that you want to improve if you actually plan to become a professional in the game, I guess.
Yep, that's
But
fact.
yeah,
That's actually a very good advice coming from the guy who also makes coaching advices. You actually coach a lot of players right now in Viber, so Zone, I'm probably gonna plug your gig onto this one.
Yeah.
Mr.
Mr. Editor,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Editor Zephyrox, please put that in.
Yeah, I'll put that in. I'm also the editor, I'm also the recorder, I'm also the host. Somebody take my spot for the editor and recorder, please.
Actually, for Playmore, I see a lot of people farm all day. They would log in just to farm all day. And I don't quite understand how people will play DT jump maps all day and not lose their minds. You know the typical DT maps like Marshmary, Start Again, Curtain, Natsukoi.
How much you cover?
Of course. Honestly, after 5 retries, I would start losing my mind, and I would just get off the map and come back to it some other week. So for improving in general, so when you ask a player how do I improve? Is it do I have to do you have to play this map? Do you have to work on this skill set? It's not just play more, it's play what you should be able to play and push yourself a little off your level sometimes, you know? If you play 6 stars, for example, you're comfortable FCing 6 stars, you should try 6.3 to 6.5 sometimes and practice that, but don't expect to FC it all the time. You should have a star range of what you can FC and a range of what you can't FC yet. Over time, you will get better as a player, and you will notice a change after you just keep playing. Seriously, you just have to play in your comfort zone, and every now and then, just get out of it. And that's actually, yeah, that sums it up for me.
Amen to that, brother. Well, for me, I haven't shared mine, so here's some things that I learned throughout the years of playing. It could be applicable to you, but for me, I actually just stopped playing and managed the community. So, my take on this one is probably very, very simple. If you, as a mouse player, it could be helpful for you. Develop your muscle memory. It really, really helps. It not just for mouse, it also helps for tablets for your aim. So, play more is always in that concept. So once your body gets used to it, you know how much effort you need to move your arm, your wrist, and everything in order to hit certain notes, hit circles, jumps, streams, chord jacks if you're playing.
Oh yeah,
Mania.
that.
Yeah.
A lot of people always ask about accuracy. For example, me, I had an offset crisis for so long, and I recently went back to 0, like pure 0, and I started listening to the song. And my UR is not always centered, but it's always in the 300 range, which is pretty good. And the way I kind of did that is because when I listened, you listen to the song basically. Just listen to the song. And not a lot of people know this, but if you start interpolating the mapper's hit sounds beat per beat, you'll eventually, start developing that habit, which is rhythm sense.
Damn. Got
Yep.
that right, bro.
Oh, by the way, I wanna add to like improving. Okay, stop asking questions a lot. That's not gonna help you.
Yeah,
You stop asking questions. Stop keeping on asking questions and actually do something. There are a lot of players in chat. Oh, I can't stream this BPM. Oh, I can't do this. Then play to do it. Man,
Yeah, you won't learn how to read AR 10.3 by asking someone how you do it. You have to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
you really have to actually play, get used to those kind of map, get all those patterns, get all those. Yeah, muscle memory is really gonna kick into those two as well. And I want to share this thing that I also learned from one of the old generations that actually stands out today. You can also get this from Mio Milo. He told me to actually memorize maps if I'm having issues app seeing it. So at least I know how to adjust whenever I'm going to expect I'm gonna have a cursor drift, or mouse drift as people call it. And then I also want to share a little bit that I also do in DT, but it could be different to you. If your muscle memory is already at, it's kind of decent, it's already there, room to grow, try reading notes, try reading the maps one note in advance. Like, for example, you already see number one, your eyes are already in number two, but your cursor is already in number one. It's kind of complicated step to think of it, but it kind of really helps with reading because you're not focusing on your cursor, but you believe on your muscle memory. And from there, you can actually build a lot of accuracy and hit more notes. I'll also add this one thing as well. It was an old generation tip, but due to changes in HD behavior, this could be not applicable. But if you still have a skin that has a hit lay number over it, like it doesn't fade away instantly, once the number disappears, tap to it. That's it. But remember, this is a rhythm game. Tap to the music, stop mashing your keyboard, you have accuracy. Score V2 is coming out, and if you don't do your shit correctly out there, you're probably gonna end up having a bad score. So that's it for me.
I also like to mention snap aim for new players. They don't quite get the memo about snap aim, where you aim one note at a time rather than flowing through a whole pattern. That's also very important to new players. Just want to mention it there. So yeah, I heard zone.
Alright, yeah. So I have 3 tips. They're gonna be short. Muscle memory. This was a myth. Does aim from CS:GO or any other FPS game transfer to OSU? Yes and no. Muscle memory transfers from FPS to OSU, but not aim. So they're interchangeable. Muscle memory, yes. Aim, no. That's it. And with maps, don't retry them more than 5 times. That's like the first cause of mind block and finger locking. It's gonna get worse once you like retry more than 5 times. I've experienced this before. I've been in the hole myself. I've retried. It was probably Harimachi Clover. I was going for SS phase. It was funny. I retried the map like 30-ish plus times already, and yeah, I was finger locking on bursts, and I didn't get the SS. I eventually got it when on some random play some days later. So yeah, don't retry more than 5 times. And accuracy, lastly, this probably helps a lot of people. I'm not sure if it's everyone, but make your effects volume louder than your music by 5 to 15%. But it'll also depend on your skin's volume of hit sounds, because some skins have it very loud, like because of the skin itself, or have it very soft. So it might vary.
Damn. So those are pretty helpful tips. So you might guess when applied on your next gameplay, and you never know, you might be one of the big boys right now hitting the second page. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, so we are now going to answer a couple of community most asked questions. So,
here we go.
according to the trends, ganito pala tong group na to, ha?
Ganito pala tong group na to.
Nah, just kidding. But to answer the first question, this is the most asked question as of 2020. What's the best tablet you can recommend? I know who's the guy who can answer this. The guy with the million tablets. Can we have Natus up front here?
Okay, so if you can find one, it's obviously the CTH 480. However, I have tried some lower end tablets that are more available to the market, which is the XP Pen G640, G430, and as well as the Gaomon S620. And honestly, I did switch to the XP Pen G640 for a while just to try it, and it wasn't bad at all. My only complaint with the G640 is that there is this really weird I would say hardware delay, it's not as bad as the CTL 490 or the new Wacom tablets that are out, with the dots. I would seriously not recommend those. CTL 472 is still good. It's basically a CTL 470 except a little bit smaller, and the pen is also a little bit shorter. The Vague tablet is basically an XP Pen G640, except you can't remove the cable. So my recommendations are the Gaomon S620. It's very comfortable. It's probably the closest thing you'll get to a 480. A CTH CTL 480, CTH 470. If you can find one, just get the Wacom ones. Don't get the new Wacom ones. They're bad. 7 millisecond delay. Not worth it. And if you can't find neither of those, the XP Pen G640 is probably the best option. So yeah, there you go.
All right, that is actually a very, very good recommendation coming from that guy who actually has a lot of tablets to flex. Oh, I heard you're.
I have
heard-
about 9 tablets.
Bro, I heard you're going to upload your new content to OSPH. That is going to be the tablet recommendation mega list.
It's
that
not a mega list. It's gonna be a video where I try all the tablets that I have and give my opinions, especially on the tablets that I have used but don't currently own. It's going to be very detailed, and I'm gonna go very in depth to each tablet, and I'm gonna upload it to the group. So no more recommendation questions, guys, please. Thank you.
There you go. Coming from Nathan Abaragi. What will he do?
I will recommend tablets.
Yes, sir. All right. So next question. I can see that this one is also being asked. Is it really necessary to take more breaks? Well,
Yes, sir.
they're talking about different. We're talking about different breaks here. There are some people who are posting that breaks in beatmap breaks their momentum. And there are also people talking about breaks in terms of health and breaks that are related to actually like it's a real taking a break from us, then coming back with more power. So I think the people that I know who are actually capable of answering this is Elky and our number one PH fiber coach. We got Zone. So why don't you guys take this away?
Okay, so with breaks and maps, honestly, for me, it's like an impulse thing now. But basically, if there's a break in a map, like let's say Ray passcode, there's like this four out of four beat, right? And you're just tapping to the BPM. But for me, instead of tapping like with the keys, you could do that. Actually, you could use that method as well. But what I do is I tap with my feet. It's been a thing for like 3 years now. I've been tapping to the rhythm if there's like breaks and maps with my feet or left foot, either of the 2 feet, whichever is free, just to the beat, and I keep it in rhythm basically. Like develop a hobby for your like not a hobby, like a method for yourself where you try to move anything within your body to keep in rhythm. Like you can bob your head, you can like move side to side if it doesn't shake your aim that much, you know. But with basically, yeah, that's with breaks in maps. But like, I don't know, Elky could maybe have something else to say.
I mean, for the breaks in maps, I just literally just wipe my hands or stretch. If like sometimes like for passing, when I want to pass a map, I probably pause if my hand hurts or something. When I'm FCing a map though, obviously I wouldn't pause. It would kind of break my momentum and make me more nervous. So I just use break time to like, reposition my aim, wipe the sweat off my tablet or my hand. Nothing else really. That's
Now you guys know why we have like tissues on our desk, okay? Let's not think of anything dirty out there.
Okay, so yeah, since Elky is a tablet player, that's generally like the medium of every tablet player. They reset their aim to the center of the screen, and maybe they wipe their hands if they have sweaty palms like all the time. Well, for me, what I usually do is actually, if it's a long break, particularly long break, I wipe my palm using my shorts or my t-shirt or whatsoever, and then just reposition my mouse. And okay, for mouse players, this is important. Every pause break or like map break in between, I reposition my mouse to where I start the map with, or basically, it's the same thing as resetting your cursor into the center for tablet players. Basically, I reset my position of my mouse to where I start, and that gives me leeway on like it basically resets my muscle memory so that my cursor is in the center, my starting position of my hand, and my mouse is where I started the map with, and it's just resets it so I can have better snap aim when the map continues once again. And with like, I guess we can move on to physical breaks now, like health issues.
Hmm. Go ahead.
What you can do is after like a certain amount of game time, if this is especially for new players, if you're just starting, maybe you're like 30 minutes to 1 hour of game time, then you can do 15 minutes of rest each hour, something like that. And definitely, I do this every after every single map that I play, even if it's like 1 minute or whatsoever. I crack my knuckles. Not everyone can crack their knuckles, but I do. Stretch your elbows, stretch your shoulders, like every single joint in your upper body. Just stretch them. It's gonna help a lot in the long run, because a lot of people do, and this causes RSI basically, is they keep their joints locked. They just don't like stretch them out, flex them a little bit after map. It ruins the joints, and that eventually comes to the effect of RSI. And I've strained myself. I've strained my tapping hand by playing continuously. I think it was DT. Playing DT continuously for 2 hours, and I've strained my wrist. It was painful, but I never got RSI because I always stretched. It was just strained, and after like 50 minutes, the strain was gone. Just literally exercise and stretch your joints. That's it.
I want to add something to that. There are sometimes habits that we cannot really prevent, and if it's something related to maps breaking your momentum, some people do the same similar stupid shenanigans that every player will do as a mouse player. Spin their cursor back to their original position. Can we all agree on that? I mean, if your hands aren't sweaty, you usually just spin your cursor at the center. Everybody's guilty of
When
that.
I'm on a break, I have a desk mat. I wipe my tapping fingers on the desk mat for some reason. I don't know if anyone else has that habit, but it would be great to know that I'm not alone.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. During a map break, if it's not a sight read, I usually just aim wherever the next circle is gonna be.
Yeah,
So I
just
don't
to
miss.
lower the
I don't
risk
wanna
of
miss.
missing.
Same case for me. I have like a mat on my table right now. Just put my palm on it, get the sweat out.
Speaking
I
of
blow
breaks,
on my hands. I blow on my hands actually.
speaking of breaks, I hate raid passcode. Yeah.
There you go. And let's proceed now at least to one final question. This question is also very popular, so let's answer it for the folks who are new to the group. How do we live stream in OSU? Now, we got a couple of people who are actually pretty good at also, they have experience making overlays, making skins, and also making themselves an emote. Let's welcome the two most popular emotes in the server. I mean, two popular podcasters as well. Kage no Kami and Hakeke. I'm sorry, guys, but that's how I recognize now.
Okay,
Go first,
so
Megan.
to basically to have a live play or live stream gameplay for OS, the easiest way to get that going is by using OBS. Basically, it's just an open source cross-platform streaming and recording program. And there's lots of tutorials online which basically explain how you set it up. So it's not really a big uh, task for you to do. It's very easy to set up, honestly. So yeah, but you have to make sure that your computer can handle it. But if it can't, you have to resort to other recording programs, I guess.
Okay, so with that said, generally with OBS, X264 recording or streaming, which is basically using your CPU to record or stream, you need to have at least basically any Ryzen processor is in the clear. But like if you're using Intel, you need to have at least like an i5-ish 5th gen. I'm using an i5 4th gen. It was okay, but it was a little bit stuttery. So you need to have an i5 5th gen and above for like proper 1080p 60 FPS streaming and recording. Any Ryzen will do, honestly. But if you have GTX card, like NVIDIA GTX GPUs, anything from like a GTX 660 and above, probably, you can change your encoder to NVIDIA's NVENC or NVENC, and that will put all the load of recording and streaming to your GPU, and it doesn't even hurt your GPU like that much, unless it's like really broken, which I had a GTX 770 which was really just broken.
Oh yeah, I want to add to this. There are now two versions of NVENC. The first version, NVENC, which is stable, it is still being maintained. It is anything that is on the GTX family to GTs, if I remember correctly, if GT is still supported for future updates. And the new NVENC is actually supported by my wonderful question. Have you ever considered getting an RTX?
No.
The
No.
RTX is actually pretty good when handling this kind of things. The results of the video using the NVENC 2.0 was actually amazing. The compression was good. It's pretty much solid if you want to stream, but there are times that you can actually have a blurred frame because it's still being in the works. So if you have an RTX card, give it a try. If you actually have like a potato PC that runs on a 940 MX, and then you have like an i5 7200U Acer, I highly suggest to actually make use of your Intel QuickSync because your 940 MX can't make it. All right. So, anything else to add to that?
I actually
Okay.
didn't talk about AMD's like
Oh.
code. So I think
You do that.
probably RX cards or like R7 R9. I have no experience, honestly. R7 R9 cards, RX cards, RX 5000 4000 series cards, or I'm not in the I'm not that knowledgeable about
You're
current
not
AMD
team
cards.
Red, basically.
Yeah. So basically they have their own encoder as well for GPU streaming and recording. I forgot what it's called, but it's just you can select it basically for when you want to stream or record using OBS. And bitrate, like bitrate and setup now, you can easily find guides on how to find that. But basically, to put it simple, bitrate of like 2.5 to 3K, 4K is for 720p 60 FPS, and then 4K to like 6K bitrate, 7K bitrate even maybe is
1080p
for
60.
1080p 60. Yeah.
I think the consensus is that just have the minimum specs that you need to do at least 30 FPS before you do
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of recording, as well as streaming comes with recording. A lot of people actually use Bandicam when you can just use OBS by itself if you have a decent enough PC. So OBS is also great for live plays because you can just input your camera as well. So you can use both the streaming setup on OBS for streaming as well as recording. So you can find some use for that. So just play around it.
You can use OBS for 240 FPS recording, which also like looks a lot better. And your movement, like your cursor movement, is actually accurate with 240 because it captures more frames. So just another reason why you should get OBS.
Also, and
That's
with cameras, let's say you don't have a webcam, like USB webcam or anything. There's an app that Hakegama uses. He can mention it later, but basically what it does is you can use your phone's camera to basically act as your webcam or whatsoever, that so you can show your setup, your aim, like your mouse cam, your tablet cam or keyboard cam whatsoever. So like you can show it like a proper live thing basically. So yeah,
So-
OBS is really useful.
Yeah, it's really useful. To make an addition about that, I think I'll just cut it off for Hake right here. It's called IV Cam. Droid Cam isn't really that reliable for me, so
Yeah, actually. I was about to
Hake
say,
actually
I won't
when I,
recommend Droid Cam.
yeah, when Hake actually shared that IV Cam, I started buying it. It's the license is pretty cheap, so make sure you buy it on the phone. So it's like 150 pesos or anything somewhere like that. And then after you buy that, there's probably nothing else to worry. Like seriously, all you gotta do, just get a phone tripod, plug your phone into your PC, or probably put it on a charger. It works on wireless, it works on wired. What else can you remove for? Well, unless you have like a phone of a my phone, then that's on you. Also,
And honestly,
Mhm.
honestly, this tip can really just be used by someone in the group that I kind of despise. He has an RGB keyboard but has a 5 FPS camera. He
Oh,
probably has
boy.
a phone. He probably
Oh
has
my
a
God.
phone better than his camera, like
My
actual
God.
camera, and he can use that, but he isn't. So I
You
don't
want to
know.
give some hints out?
Starts with an A,
Nah.
ends with an L.
Nah,
Because-
nah.
Because he really do be taking those L's.
Yes,
my
he's
God.
taking that L, and we're getting this massive dub boss man.
Yes, sir.
My God, the roast! I can't believe that we're also roasting people on this podcast. Jesus Christ!
You know what? Just enjoy the game, man. Just
It is
enjoy the
what it
game.
is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. So yeah, I think that's pretty much our podcast for today. I hope everybody likes it. We have a lot more coming up to you, so make sure you stay tuned for the next podcast episode. We'll be talking to one of our CWC representative for the PH. We will take Momo as part as I spoke with Lobster. So things are about to get more and more crazy. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This is Saffrox, along with the most of the Sewing Bob members, such as Alki. We got Kagano, we got Hake, we got Zone, we got Natus, the man, the myth, the legend. Both of those, everyone in those groups. Come on, man. Everyone is
Yes, sir.
amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have yourself a good day.